first warrior looked out on the land that was his home. He saw the hills and the stars, and he was happy. For giving him this home, the first warrior told the Great Spirit that he would fight and win many battles in his honor.
Hello again, and welcome back to On the Bubble podcast. My name is Josh, and today is part 3, our final installment of our coverage of the Long Live Longmire campaign, all about the show Longmire. So, as we've heard over the past few episodes, Longmire was, and still is, a very special television show, and it has an exceptionally special fandom, as we'll hear a little bit of today. So what I wanted to share in this episode of the podcast is not so much really any of myself beyond this little intro, but more the voices of the Longmire fandom and also some of the cast and crew. For a detailed list of the voices that you're about to hear, and for links to the original media where these incredible stories were first shared, head to the show notes where you're listening today and you'll find a chronological list as we move through the episode of who's speaking when. And that'll save you having to listen to me reintroduce every single person as we move through the audio. So just before we jump in with the voices of Longmire, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who has checked out the podcast lately, whether you're a long-time listener or a first-time listener. Thank you for being open to my audio essay all about how disappointed I've been with Season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I've since seen Episode 9, a great episode in and of itself, and one with deep ties to the original Star Trek series, but it felt like an episode that would have been a wonderful departure in a 22-episode season, not in a 10-episode limited run. So we won't go off on another Star Trek tangent today. It's all about Longmire, but if nothing else, please head over to gunnergeek.com for all the great shows. There's a lot of awesome, honest, and I think increasingly necessary positive pop culture shows at gunnergeek.com. Righto, I almost derailed us completely with some more Star Trek chat. Let's jump in with the voices of Longmire.
Hey, Posse, it's working. I know for a fact that the studio and the networks are tracking your social media activity, and it's making a difference. Keep it up. Long live Longmire.
If you haven't heard, that we actually got plucked out of the reality TV show basement apartment, and we're now living in the streaming penthouse at Netflix, in case you haven't heard. We're pretty excited about that, but one of the things that a lot of people may have not figured out though is that we're getting about 20 more minutes or more material per episode.
50% longer.
Yeah, what you guys don't know is that it's funny, the episode you see is never the episode that it was supposed to be. See, we filmed about 60 minutes of good TV, and they'd show it to us. And 65, and then we would turn on the TV to watch the episode, and watching the episode before now has always been like, oh no, they cut that.
Oh yeah.
They cut my big scene.
Each year since 2011, thousands of fans have flocked to Buffalo to live for just a few days in the fictional town of Durant, Wyoming, in the equally fictional Absaroka County. And the actors who play the characters that viewers love to love and hate come back year after year to meet the people who keep the dream alive. But that's not why fans from all over the country flock to Buffalo year after year. Damaris Miller and her friend Olga drove up from Colorado just for Longmire Days. Damaris says she came last year, and despite the fact that the series ended 3 years ago, she'll come again every year while the celebration lasts.
I just love the series. You just feel like you know the characters, and you feel like if they walk on the street, you would just feel like you were friends with them. And you know their history and you know their life. And as you can see from Buffalo, it's crowded with people that just love the series. So I plan on coming every year.
Hey there, so tell us your name and tell us how often you've been to Longmire Days and what your experience is like.
I'm Rory Saunders from Missouri, and I have been to Longmire Days 10 times. Started in 2014.
The man who started it all is author Craig Johnson, who pointed out that the last 2 years they've had to hold Longmire Days as a virtual event because of the pandemic.
Not to complain about those virtual events, because I mean they were able to put out about $80,000 worth of charitable donations, like to a number of different, very, very worthy organizations like the Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women's Resource Center, like at Canine Warriors, a number of others. Because
of the 2-year hiatus, the numbers are a little lower this year than in 2019. One thing that hasn't changed this Longmire Days is the passion of the fans. Fans like Tammy Bachman from South Dakota, who has autographs from the entire cast tattooed on her legs, or Greg Falk from Wisconsin, whose love for the show prompted him to restore a 1994 Ford Bronco, just like Sheriff Longmire's ride in the books and television show.
My niece gave me the TV or the DVDs to watch, and I fell in love with the show, so I decided to make my own Bronco and found one out in Arizona, and my buddy put all the stickers on it. That was last year, and whoop.
Taylor and Johnson both say plans are in the works for next year's Longmire Days.
I'd keep doing it. We get some more actors back. It's just more fun with more people, more of my old friends. It's like a reunion.
Next year, what we have is the hope that we'll get the entire cast back here, and get the band back together again.
I just wanted to give a great big shout out to Longmire Posse and thank all of you for 6 seasons of support, for your undying loyalty and enthusiasm and passion. I know that for myself and for the rest of the cast and our producers and creators and crew, we all greatly appreciate it and have always endeavored to give you the best show possible.
Thank you to everybody who's been a part of the Longmire Posse and all the fan groups that have worked so hard to get the word out about the show.
You guys have stuck with us from the very beginning, and we really appreciate it. So for all the old fans, all the new fans, all the people finding us just now, thank you so much for going on this ride with us, and we couldn't be more grateful.
We will always have Longmire. This time in our lives that we've been communicating and getting to know each other, meeting each other, talking about the shows, falling in love with the show and the characters, and getting to interact with us and us getting to interact with you. It will always be special to me, and we'll always have it.
But what I'm hoping you'll do, if you get a chance, before this last season drops, get out and tell people about it who haven't discovered it.
I think I can say with a lot of confidence that season 6, even though we're wrapping everything up, is going to be the best season yet, and I know you'll enjoy it. Thank you again.
Thanks again for all your support.